Catching a glimpse of Mount Fuji on a clear, beautiful day can be pretty elusive, but we managed to catch it for 8 of the 10 days that we travelled around Mount Fuji.
Huh? How?
By driving and living in a campervan. And as it turns out, driving in Japan is so easy, and we're here to share some tips and things we've learned, including driving as well as campervanning tips. But before you go and pick up your rental car, do make sure that you have your IDP ready. No IDP means no keys for you.
So first up, Japanese drive on the left side of the road. So if you're coming from countries like Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, or the UK, this would be familiar to you. But if you're coming from countries like US or South Korea, then a helpful slogan for you to keep in mind would be small left and big right.
Google Maps works perfectly fine in Japan. In fact, it's super helpful in choosing our route when we wanted to avoid the expensive toll roads simply by clicking on the Avoid Toll option. But one thing to note is that if your destination can only be accessed by a toll road or an ETC only road, Google Maps will still lead you there, so make sure to check before you head off. And speaking of tolls and ETC, yes, tolls are so expensive, and that really shocked us on our first day of driving. And the most expensive tolls we went through were almost 2,000 yen. So if you thought $7 ERPs in Singapore was expensive, try passing through the tolls in Japan. Also, rental companies would usually provide you an ETC card so that you can pass through the toll gates automatically. But if they fail to provide you a card, it's just going to be a bit more troublesome, as you will need to stop and pay manually at each toll gate. In that case, only go through the green gates, and make sure you do not go through the purple gates or any ETC only road if you do not have an ETC card.
Most of the petrol stations are self-service, so you will need to prepay and select your fuel type at the pump kiosk. And depending on your car or campervan, it will be running either on petrol or diesel. If it runs on petrol, or what the Japanese call regular, look for the red pumps. And if it's running on diesel, then just look for the green pumps.
Also, if you were curious, fuel prices range from 152 to 165 yen per litre while we were there. So if you notice Japanese drivers hitting their hazard lights for just 2 to 3 blinks, they're not indicating an actual hazard or emergency. This is the Japanese wave, and their way of thanking you for giving way to them, especially when merging. Also, if you happen to see any of these signs on the cars in front of you, here are what they mean. Note that if you drive dangerously around a car with these stickers, you may have to pay a fine, so be patient and don't drive too closely to them. Parking in the city or at tourist spots outside of the Fuji area can be crazy expensive. If you want to save some money, you can either park slightly further away from the tourist spots and walk there, or look for car parks that at least have a daily cap or maximum amount. This is especially important on the weekends, where some of these car parks do not have daily caps, so make sure you check before you park. We found a couple of good spots around Kamakura and Yokohama, so if you need them, comment down below and we'll be happy to share. If you are on a single lane road near Mount Fuji, you'll eventually hit a discretionary right. There will be no green arrow, and oncoming traffic feels endless. Just remember that oncoming cars have priority over you, but pull into the intersection, keep your wheels straight, and wait for a clear gap. If the light turns yellow while you're in the middle, don't freeze. This is your signal to safely clear the intersection. Japanese roads are narrower in general, so if you're renting a bigger vehicle or a campervan like ours, this is something that you have to take note, especially around city areas. It can be tricky navigating some of these roads, and even car parks where the lots are just generally not built for bigger vehicles. If you're just travelling mostly in the Fuji area, then it's less of an issue based on our experience. So in Japan, there are rest stops, or what they call Michi-no-Ekis, which offers 24/7 free parking, clean bathrooms but no shower, and the perfect place to park your vehicle for the night. It is technically legal, but there are rules and etiquette to abide by, such as staying only one night, disposing of trash properly, and not setting up chairs and tents outside your vehicle. There are also plenty of signs telling you not to wash your pots and pans and utensils in the sink, as it may clog them. During our 2-week trip, we stayed exclusively at Michi-no-Ekis and didn't pay for any campground. It worked perfectly for us and definitely saved us quite a bit of money. Let us know in the comments down below if you want us to do a review of every Michi-no-Eki that we went to. What surprised us was that typically there's no convenience store, but instead there's a small supermarket and restaurants for you to eat at. But be sure to check their opening times, as they can close quite early at 5 to 6 PM. So if you are arriving late, make sure to grab your dinner before arriving at the Michi-no-Eki. But if you can, it's highly encouraged to purchase local produce, snacks, and eat at their restaurants to support the local economy. And since Michi-no-Ekis don't have showering facilities, there are 2 options. The first would be onsen, which are generally easy to find, especially around the Fuji area. But if you're shy to use the public baths, or for ladies who are on your period, the alternative would be to find these Kaikatsu Club, which are 24/7 internet cafes that have showering facilities which are super affordable as well. 80% of our showers have been taken at Kaikatsu Club for no more than $3 to $5 per person, and some even provide free towel. And that is 10 things you should know before driving or campervanning in Japan. If you're interested, we've done a campervan tour as well, and you can look forward to our next video where we'll be sharing our itinerary for our 2-week road trip around Japan, covering Mount Fuji, Kamakura, and Yokohama. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.